Yay! Wow. What, the half an hour in, we finally got it going. All right, let me take. I'm terrified to touch the change your voice button, as it might like explode my computer at this point with the luck we've had tonight. No, I'm gonna hang tight. I'll wait for a special occasion. All right. So look, last time you were here, the E8 out of character found a path to the dragon cultists that didn't find them battling ash zombies or twig blights. I mean, it was a close call, as they almost followed the road. We all know who that was. However, Little Zippy once again showed them the safest path. Finding sanctuary in a dilapidated building, the eight schemed on a plan to engage the dragon cultists. Not that plan was super deep. The plan was mostly finding a way to get the cultists to do the dirty work of ridding Thunder Tree of a dragon, and then taking credit for it with the druid. The group sent ahead Cyrus, with Favia hiding, to provide a little bit of cover, while the rest of the eight hung back and made s'mores or something. Cyrus was welcomed into the cultist home and engaged with some cagey discourse with their leader, Fabric. He was alone. He happened upon a druid and was mildly interested in ridding the Thunder Tree of a dragon. Midway through the exchange, out walks Nick Maylock, inadvertently finding his adventure pal in the service of his own quest for knowledge. The stars were aligning, until they weren't. Uninterested in Fabric's request to rid Wyvern Tor of the orcs, the potential future home of the dragon, the discussion broke down, as did some of the trust. Not helping matters, the cultist shoulda, not woulda or coulda, but shoulda, distinctly remembered Cyrus having been in the company of more travelers the night before when he came upon them resting. They knitted out with the cultists going to engage the dragon, while Cyrus and Nick stayed back. The party heard no murder. They heard a bit of mumbling, and after a while, Shoda approached the group. He was not surprised to see a larger group, but still shared Fabric's request that Cyrus and Nick join him back at their hideout. The eight were a hard pass, it seems, and instead they're going to be updating the druid, getting some directions to Cragmaw Castle, filling in any bits of knowledge they need, and heading out straight away. Or not. I ask you all, what is the plan?
Precisely that, I think. Let's get us some directions.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to assume that you guys know where you've been and take the same path back to the druid's quarters, right? So we're not going to do this whole roll stealth, sneak along, blah blah blah. Unless you guys want to tell me that you're going to try a different path there. Any takers on a different path?
To the druid's house?
Yeah, to the druid's house.
We're like maybe 40 feet from it.
Exactly.
Okay.
But I don't want to put words in your mouth. So if you guys decide to go to the south,
walk back to the druid.
Let's walk around the dragon to get back to the.
Right. So you literally you're going to take your same path, right? Where you've either murdered or know where the bad guys are. So we're not going to have you draw anything. We're not going to roll anything. I'm also not going to move your characters. If you scroll to the left on your map to the druid's house, if you want a visual look at the map, I'm not even going to put the druid on it. We're just going to have a quick conversation, and you're going to move on with your lives. He's going to move on with his life, and all will be good. So you come upon the door. You see inside the window the druid whose name now suddenly escaped. Not Reinhold. I was thinking Judge Reinhold, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. So you see the druid, sitting in his chair by the fire, sort of relaxing.
What do you guys want to do the talking? I kind of feel like I talked too much last time.
Having sat through it twice, it was a talky episode. It was interesting, though, you guys.
Oh, what do we have to say to this guy other than we're out of here? Good luck with the dragon. Well, maybe we'll come back.
You don't know where the map.
Well, the cultists are going to take care of the dragon. It turns out that they are interested in relocating the dragon to somewhere else, which means not here. So I figured you would be kind of happy about that.
Indeed. Indeed. Will be left alone.
That is good news. That is good news. Also happy that do they plan on staying in the area, or are they gonna follow the dragon out?
I think they're gonna follow the dragon out. That's what it seemed like to me.
Nice.
Oh, that's especially good news. That's because I'm happy here on my own with my twig lights.
Yeah, that's what you like.
So I believe you were looking for directions to Cragmaw Castle.
Correct.
Don't mind.
Awesome.
All right. I don't know if my voice worked or not, but whatever.
It was
It
awesome.
did. Bravo.
Yay! And it didn't even crash. It all worked.
Yeah.
So he gives you a rough sketch of Cragmaw Castle, and it sort of gives you a little bit of the layout. Tells you, well, let me decide what he tells you, because he may not tell you everything that you want to know. What questions do you have for the druid before you leave? Let's play it a different way. Instead of me just giving you all the narrative, it seems like let's make you work for it a little bit.
Can you provide us a map to the castle? I'm assuming, right? We know how to get
Oh
there.
yeah. So I handed it to this. I handed it to Cyrus here. He's got a map, right? And it should get you right to the castle entrance, right? Now, I would encourage you to tread lightly, right? This castle is run by King Grohl. Are you familiar with Grohl?
No, tell us more about Gruel.
King Grohl's a bugbear, right? And he's there's the goblins in the area. There's all these factions that are fighting for dominance. There's Clarg. He's in some caves. There's his uncle is King Grohl. Grohl, you do not want to mess with Grohl. All of the goblins, the bugbears, the hobgoblins, he operates from a place of intimidation and fear. Now he is getting up there in the years. You'll notice that he's hunched over and getting up there, but at the same time, he's not someone you trifle with.
What's his relationship with the bugbear in the cave?
You mean
That was
Clarg?
Clarg.
Clarg, that's his nephew.
Does he like his nephew?
Oops.
Does he
Wow.
like his nephew?
Well,
Whoops.
between you and me, I think Clarg's been scheming. Once Grohl, once Grohl sort of works things out with the Black Spider and whatever. Clarg. Between me, I think Clarg's plan was to go in and dispatch his uncle and take over Cragmaw Castle. Because Cragmaw Castle, it's not like it's a dilapidated castle that these guys they just took it over. Right? It's not like they're part of a kingdom. And what's interesting about them is it's as disorganized as goblins can be, they're kind of feudalists, right? He's King Grohl, right? It's pretty uncommon, but he's been able to bring order to the warring tribes. I don't imagine he sleeps at night though.
That's good.
We should introduce a union to those guys.
So you said that there's the main entrance, right? Is there a better way that you know of that we can get into the castle?
Yeah, let me mark how I would come in. So the entrance, you'll be coming from the west, right? The main road. And I would say, a good mile before you get to the castle, around this stream and these trees right here, it sort of marks on the map. He's like, you guys are going to want to, go off road a bit, right? Because, the last thing you want to do is for them to see you come in or out, unless you're a red brand, right? Which none of you seem to be red brand. So, you're going to have to, I don't know what your business at Cragmaw is, right? I believe it was to help Rockseeker, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if you think you'll be invited guests, or if you're going to stealth your way in, or if you guys are the kind to just go in and thump heads. But I can tell you that it is a well protected, well armed castle. I've been told there's a couple of ways in, but the only one that I'm truly aware of is the front gate. And just sort of a little bonus for helping me out with that dragon. On each side of the front gate, you'll notice a couple of arrow slits, right? So where a couple of goblins tend to persistently stand guard for anyone who might come upon the castle. So if they don't know you or know of you, or if you're not a goblin, right? I don't see any of you as goblins. You may want to tread lightly. So I'll mark on this map. I would come around here, and maybe from the northwest. There's a bunch of trees, and you can sort of take stock of the situation from there. Once you leave this area, the immediate surrounding part of the castle is somewhat open. Now there are windows, but half of them are boarded up. The other half are tiny. There's rubble. Again, I haven't spent a lot of time at the castle, so I can't tell you what is to the north, south, or east. But that is the path there. Just tread lightly and safe travels.
You said something about red brands?
Yeah, the red brands. Yeah, the red. So, so you're familiar with the relationship between the red brands, and the goblins and the black spider, correct?
No.
No.
Tell us more, please.
So he does. He goes into a little bit of a history lesson that would remind you of the first 16 episodes of playing this campaign. But there's been such sporadic little mentions of a couple of things that I'll reground you on what you guys know. One of the things that you know is that someone named the Black Spider, whether it's an actual Black Spider or that's a nickname you don't know quite yet, had asked Clarg to kidnap Rockseeker, right? So that was the Cragmaw caves, right? And Clarg did that. Now you did dispatch Clarg before you could ask him any questions. So.
We remember that.
Yeah, a lot of unknowns there, right? And maybe you guys can have some empathy for your GM here for a little second. All right, so and so Clark went ahead and took Rockseeker, right? The flip side is that you may remember Glassstaff. So Glassstaff was working with both Clark and Grohl, right? To sort of keep the city at bay, do the bidding of the goblins, right, and sort of dispatch anyone daring enough to maybe make their way to Cragmaw Castle, right? So sort of to nip it in the bud. Now, of course, you don't know a lot of other things because you did also pretty readily dispatch Glassstaff, right? So
I see a pattern here.
I can see why you're a little fuzzy, right? So you dispatched him as well. Right, but you did piece together some things. Sildar, remember, talked about maybe heading to Thunder Tree. You've talked to the druid. On the plus side, you've turned a new leaf. You didn't dispatch the druid. But what you've pieced together is that Grohl. So Clarg deposited Rockseeker at Cragmaw Castle. Right, you found that out from a number of people in town, a couple of rumors, and just now from this druid, right? So like that has been affirmed. You found your way to Cragmaw Castle, right? And this is where Sildar wanted you to go. Like his goal is for you to save Sildar, but what he really wants to make sure of is that you guys return the map, right? The map to Wave Echo Cave, right? So that's sort of the end game, right? Rockseeker wants to, again, this is going back to like episode 1 or 2, you guys. Rockseeker wants to fire back up the Wave Echo Cave mines, right, and bring prosperity, right? Bring prosperity back to Phandelver, right? So he's convinced of that. On the flip side, you're not exactly quite sure yet what the Black Spider's interest is in the cave, but you know that the Black Spider had made a deal with Grohl, and Clarg and Glassstaff, right? To secure the map and to secure the location of Wave Echo Cave. So that's what the Black Spider is all about. So you know that Rockseeker's there. What you don't know is if they've discovered his map, and you don't know if he's what he said to any of the above parties. You also know that Glassstaff is dead. His red brand's in disarray. You know that Clarg is dead, and most of his goblin cohorts are also dead. You did free one. Was it Droop?
Yes.
I believe.
Yeah,
right?
That guy was in trouble.
Yeah, well, I think that guy wanted to be your best friend. For all you know, he's back at town, like, fixing up the mansion for you guys, right? So, so that sort of leaves you here, right? So just sort of to align you guys on what your quests are, you can decide which of these things you care about. There's the map to Wave Echo Cave. There's the treasures that are supposed to be found in Wave Echo Cave. There's rumors of magic, right? There's saving Rockseeker, right? Like you could end the entire thing, get Rockseeker. You could just say to hell with it and go home now. But you're going to have to find your own path forward. I think that's pretty much those are the big rocks that you got to move.
The castle.
So, so the druid, he takes a pull from his ale because his voice is a little dry after sort of reiterating all of that for you guys. And he looks at you, Skylar. He's like, did you write that down? What about you? Did you write that down? Did anyone write that stuff down? Just a little, just playing with you. Yes, it's all up there. Now, to be fair, it's been a year since we started playing. I mean, legit, like a year, and a lot's happened, so it's hard to keep track.
Yeah,
I didn't realize it's been a year.
Yeah, that's shocking.
Yeah. Yep, I believe we started playing in like March of last year, something like that. So I have to look in when
Anniversary.
we'll have to have an anniversary show. All right, so you guys are here, and I'm guessing bored of talk. Are there any other things that you want to know, or any other things you need? I think everyone's all healed up, right? You have your provisions.
Should we kill this guy now?
Whoever's yeah. Classic E8 move. Whoever has the map, which who's carrying the map?
Mark.
It's the map to Cragmaw, right?
Yes,
we don't have the map to.
You don't have the Echo Cave, yeah.
Yeah, no, I just want to know who has the map, just in case you guys get separated.
Yeah, it's me.
All right.
Is there any more information on the Black Spider that he knows that you know of?
Is he really a Black Spider?
Black Spider. So the druid, the druid pulls out his druid pipe and sort of, rubs his beard and thinking to himself, is trying to sort of think through, what does he know about this Black Spider, right? He's definitely not killing time while he gets to his notes. Make sure that he gives the right stuff away. Definitely not that. There we go. Farther. The problem when you have notes is you can also overnote yourself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I have so many notes. So look, he goes takes his final puff and he's like,
look, the Black Spider is the bad guy. He's the boss of the other bad guys, right? He's mysterious. Honestly, he's ensured that he's as much legend as fact, right? He's kind of kept himself a blank slate, right? Honestly, from what I know of him, he seems somewhat boring, right? Like we know he exists and we know that he does bad stuff, but sort of the unknowing part of him is sort of the mystery. It's what makes the Black Spider sort of work, right? So, to be honest, all I can tell you is that I know that he has some interest in some magical something in Wave Echo Cave. That's what I can tell you. That's what I know about him.
Can I ask how the druid has found out all this information?
so you're asking how the druid knows?
Yeah, how does he know all of this?
By the way.
Yeah, Radoth. Yeah, thank you. Not Judge Reinhold. So Radoth knows this for a couple of things, right? So, as you guys found out about him, he is the one character who sort of knows all, right? He's sort of centrally located. There's a lot of traffic coming back and forth, right? He tries to keep people out of Thunder Tree. He knows Sildar. That's why Sildar sent you to him, right? So Sildar has brought him up to speed. So he collects rumors, right? Well, he can't tell you much about the Black Spider because he really doesn't know much about the Black Spider, right? But he knew an awful lot about about King Groll, right? Or he wouldn't have been able to tell you how to get there,
Right.
right? So, he's think of him as that wacky. He's like Gandalf's wacky friend that had the rabbit sled, Radagast, yeah. So just sort of keeps to himself, but seems like a genuinely decent soul, but just happens to sort of know what's happening. He's like the Phandelver gossip, right?
Okay.
If
The gossip hermit.
the gossip hermit, yeah. So it's a little at odds, right? But yeah, so he knows quite a bit, right? And he used to be an adventurer, right? He mentioned that I think when you guys first met him. So that's how he knows the lay of the land.
Gotcha. Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you.
The wargs are loose.
So he's wondering if there's, is there anything else? Is there anything else that you need of him?
Yep, I think we can be on our way.
And I
Do you
need to
want to come with
see.
us?
God, no. No. Look, I've got dragon problems here. If these guys don't dispatch the dragon, I'm going to have to figure something out. All right, so let me load you guys up. We are not going to role play the journey. Let's not do the whole roll dice every 10 seconds. So talk amongst yourselves. Start scheming on how you want to attack Cragmaw Castle while I load it up.
Let's go with the route he picked.
Do we still have the red brand, the cloaks?
I was actually thinking that.
I was thinking that myself. I think I do.
They're good. I didn't think of that at all.
I don't know how much trouble that would get us in. I'm not sure if our names or descriptions have been associated with the murder of the red brand.
I think comedy would ensue, though.
Yeah, half of the red brands are dead because of us. Wasn't there somebody in the town that wanted to take over the red brands and lead them?
Yes.
After we're done with them, what is she's not going to have anybody to lead.
Yeah, that's right. She may have an axe to grind with us.
So can you guys see the map yet?
It's showing up little by little.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
I'm going to run to get a refill if anyone wants to do that, and then we will be deep into it.
Ooh. There's someone there. Ooh, who is it? You guys see that person on the board?
Yes, I see something. Can't tell
I
exactly
see a
who
closed-
or what it is.
I see a closed door.
I'm gonna scoot the map a little bit. Yeah, it's. Oh, can I tell you what I see? Why not? I see some beds.
I do.
That's what I see.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, everybody
Like
has a
some
different.
pallets.
I'm realizing everybody has a different line of sight. So I
Yeah.
think all I see is a closed door. I don't see anybody.
I see some beds too.
Oh, and I see it almost looks like chairs, maybe.
Looks like that character from Adventure Town. Adventure Town.
So is this? Are we? Are
Like
we?
I see
East-
right.
Oh no,
here.
there's someone in there. Zippy sees somebody.
Oh,
I don't know
And,
if he's supposed to see all that. There's something else in there.
Oh,
Did somebody draw green on the map?
Yeah, that was me.
So probably what? 2 spaces above. There's something there. It looks like a guy with a shield and a sword.
Yeah.
oh, yeah, I see that.
I'm not entirely sure we're supposed to be seeing that.
Yeah,
No,
we'll
I
pretend
don't
we
think we are.
We don't
didn't
see
see-
anything.
Thomas in there.
This will
So
just
are
show
we
up on the
west?
recording when Tom watches next time.
Tom's the best
He'd be like, those
grandmaster
motherfuckers.
ever.
Are we west then? Do we know? Am I muted?
Yeah, west and north, I think.
Yeah. Yes.
No, we can hear you.
So
Okay, I need stupid cloak.
he said north, south, and east. Okay, so he did bring us in on the right side. That he has no clue what goes on north, south, and east.
Hmm.
What's the plan? Is there a door over here?
It looked like there may be something on the west side that the path leads up to, but
Oh, yeah, some steps or something. I don't know if we want to do that.
Yeah.
That's
mean,
not the front entrance, though, right?
Yeah, definitely not the front entrance.
I should
Maybe
probably.
we can have Zippy scout carefully.
A
In
little
biz?
bit.
Go
Yeah.
invisible, yeah.
Don't forget those arrow holes.
Yeah. We gotta watch out for those two.
They're on
maybe-
the either side of the front gate, is what he said. Either side of the front
Maybe
gate.
we can have, like, as long as we don't aggro anybody and wind up having to roll initiative, like, as long as we can stay on the outskirts of, like, maybe Favia can be, like, ready wherever Zippy is scouting, kind of thing. And we can just kind of get the lay of the land first to see if there's other entrances, maybe, rather than just going in guns a-blazing.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right, I'm doing my bit here. Awesome. All right, so yeah, you guys follow Redoth's advice, right? And you sort of come in from the northwest cluster of trees. You have really great visibility to the castle. You can sort of see it off. You can see straight to the east. There's an old path that sort of heads right into the castle, but it's a bunch of rubble there. You can see on the west side of the building seems to be the main entrance. You see a walkway, some stairs, and the official narrative is the castle consists of 7 crumbling towers of different sizes and heights, but the upper stories are all varying states of collapse. A short flight of steps leads up to a terrace in front of the main archway. Past the wreckage of a pair of shuttered doors lies the shadowed hall. Round towers loom over the entranceway, with dark arrow slits looking down on the terrace. So the druid did not lead you astray. He had mentioned those arrow slits.
So, can you like indicate
Ooh.
Was that?
where your where these things are that you were just talking about?
The arrow slits.
The arrow splits.
Well, and the main entryway.
Yep, absolutely. So let me see where my pointers are. All right, so from this right here, that's the main entrance,
Okay.
right? The 2 arrow slits are here and there for the
Okay.
entryway. But you do notice around from where you guys stand, there's a window here. There's some rubble that seems to be sort of blocking. You see these I don't know if you probably can't see that. These round bits, those are towers, right? So as mentioned, there's seven of those total, right? You can also see a bit of a window right here, but it's very dark right here. And that's about as far as you can see from there. Right.
Let's go around the building.
Yeah, let's just kind
Yeah.
of scout if we can.
Yeah.
Staying, keeping a little bit of our distance, so we're not trying not to be obvious.
So before you guys can take a step, or sort of as you quietly as you quietly approach the castle, you spy 2 red band ruffians, and let's turn them on. Bloop, bloop, bloop. And a goblin making their way from the castle entrance, down the path heading west. They're deep in conversation, right? And they're completely unaware of you as you walk. So again, good guidance from the druid.
Glastoff underestimated King Groll. Groll has no interest in helping the Black Spider, at least not for free.
Well, Glassstaff is dead. And this is the last visit I'll be making to help Groll, the Black Spider, or any of this. I didn't sign up for this nonsense.
Crag wrong too, and dead. King Groll never let Crag lead even after Give Rockseeker.
And the Drow, Verith. She scares the hell out of me. I'm not sure that the Black Spider searching Wave Echo Cave for the Forge of Spells is any better than Rockseeker firing up the whole operation, to bring that supposed prosperity back to Phandelver.
Well, at least with Rockseeker, we could profit off of the money he brings into the area.
Rockseeker? He won't survive the day, especially if he's shared the Wecco Cave location. The Droll will see to that.
Or King Groll. He not need dwarf much longer.
So as you're hearing them exchange their goodness, check that. These guys are sort of making their way. That conversation took them to about here, which you guys should see on the map, correct?
Yeah.
And
What are
you
we
can,
seeing?
And
Well,
you can
they're behind the tree for us, but
yeah, and you can
well,
you can see through the tree, right? Because you've tracked them, so you're good. So I opened that up for you guys to be able to see. So they're about ready to exit the map. So, at this point, I'm going to give you a second to you may have learned a few things. There's some people moving there, moving off to the to the south. I know that you guys talked about a sort of a first off strategy of maybe creeping around, but we'll sort of leave it at that. So I will remind you, because it's been a while since you've approached anything. This is my one gentle reminder. You may want to ask some stuff. Do you hear some things? Do you remember the whole role playing thing?
Right.
Or you guys could just kill everyone and be done with it.
I draw my sword.
Storm the castle! Storm the gates!
But that is my last gimme, you guys. So,
I think we should roll a perception check if we hear anything in the area.
Let's give a good listen.
Yeah.
all right. So why don't you guys go ahead and roll perception, please?
That was
It's on
my
your-
quick action.
On your skills tab, or your quick action for those who don't know. Do you know about quick actions?
Ooh. Karen, kill
What
me.
is the quick actions
Quick
again?
action.
You can
I
drag.
forgot. How do I make it work though? Once I've dragged it down there.
You just click it.
Just click it. That's the beautiful part.
Wait,
Yeah.
what is it?
Oh.
So you can drag a dice, whatever you're going to roll, whatever you would have normally drug into the chat window to roll. You can
Okay.
drag it down to that toolbar at the bottom, and it makes it a quick action. So-
1, 2.
yeah, it's like 1, 2, 3.
Get outta- Oh, down by advantage, opportunity, cover, all that stuff?
No,
Well-
it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
At the very bottom.
Yeah, the very bottom of your Fantasy Grounds window.
I
Where
wondered
it
what
says
the heck.
1, 2,
And you
3,
can
4, 5.
hotkey it.
Yeah, so you can hotkey it. No, I
That's
don't.
amazing.
Well, can you
All
hotkey
that
it?
Risk saving. So
Is that
much.
really? Does that when you push 1, 2, 3, that works? Oh, who knew? Yeah, I know. The other thing you
Well,
can
that
do
is
is you can hold Control or you can hold Alt and you can hold Shift, and it'll give you a second, third, and fourth row of
Don't give me
modifiers.
that.
So cool. So yeah, so Karen, you put your half orc ear to the ground and listen for vibrations, and sort of what you hear, over the few minutes that you guys are standing there, is every once in a while, you see a tired looking goblin sort of look through the arrow slit, and then just sort of disappear. And sort of what you know of goblins is they're somewhat lazy unless there's someone beating on them to do a thing. So while these arrow slits are being guarded, chances are, they're asleep at the slot. So inconsistent. Off to the north, you don't hear anything out of the ordinary. Coming from the room directly to your southeast, that corner, you hear the faint sound of some snoring going on from that arrow slit, right?
Okay.
So if you guys are not going to engage, like the three characters, if you're not going to engage with them or anything else, I'm going to have them leave the vicinity, unless there was any plans to attack them or anything like that.
Oh, I don't think we should right now. I think we should remain a little stealth until we can see what's up in there.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So these guys just, you keep hearing them talk. They make their way down the path and are then out of sight.
Okay.
Now, time of day, it's roughly dawn. So the sun has come out barely. Matter of fact, I think I can make that a real thing here. Hold on. Dawn. Ambient light. Let's make it dawn. There you go. That should have changed the lighting for you.
Yes, it did.
Fancy.
I don't know if you guys see this, but there's a light on down here.
Down
Or
where?
at least it looks like.
Where's down here for them? You're gonna have to use your drawing tool if you want to.
Circle it.
I did. Did I?
I see
It's
nothing.
the green. Yeah.
Do you guys see what he drew? Oh, you mean over here? Like that?
Yeah, over there. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
Well, we should go down that way. I think that's where we're gonna walk. But yeah, I didn't notice that. It's too far.
Yeah. So what you're seeing? Yeah. So there's some light coming from some of the windows.
Okay.
Right, and these are castle windows, right? So they're skinny and long. You can get an arrow through. You aren't going to be able to to sneak through any of them. But it does tell you that there's there is at least some light coming out of the building. Not all of the rooms, but at least a couple of them.
Can little Zippy fit through?
Was not expecting that question. Let me. No, I think he's how big Zippy? Flavia? Hello?
Yeah, she's looking.
Oh. On my screen, she looks like she fell asleep because I don't think her video's moving.
Yeah, her video's doing weird stuff right now.
Oh no.
And I was on mute, so because I was eating.
Yeah. He's an imp, right? So.
He's an imp.
Yeah, he's not smaller than he wouldn't fit through something around 9 to 12 inches wide, right?
I don't think so. Where does it
He wouldn't
that?
He wouldn't be able to fly.
Yeah.
How big is a small creature? Because that's how big he is.
Well, I mean, a small. Okay, so he's 2 feet tall.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's going to be able to fit. No, he wouldn't be able to fit through the. He's 90 pounds, 2 feet tall. He's 93 years old.
I was like, where is all of that?
It's under identity. But yeah, they don't. No, I don't know why they don't do this. They don't put width, which seems like that would be a beneficial thing.
Say 2
Yeah,
feet.
exactly.
Yeah, so if he's 2 feet tall, I don't imagine he'd fit through like a 9-inch gap.
Well, and which width are you referring? Are you referring shoulder to shoulder, or are you referring?
Yeah, I'm assuming.
Chest to back?
Honestly, I was assuming if you guys tried to stuff him through the hole, could he make it? Well, although I guess you know what? Yeah, no, he would fit. He would actually fit because I was just trying to imagine an imp that is only he's half as wide as he is tall. He would be a very fat imp, right? So
You would probably have to shimmy through it.
yeah, because I'm probably 1/5 as wide as I am tall, right? So if he's 1/5, so yeah, he couldn't fly through it, right? So you'd probably have to sort of stuff him in there.
Danny of House DeVito.
Yeah, and I don't think that you could. I don't think he would be very stealthy. Like I don't think this would be.
I don't know that he would be that's what I want to do. Go fly through
Well-
this little window I barely fit through.
Yeah, only you know that.
I'll lay off on these cheese curds and mead.
Okay, so what I've heard so far is go around the north. I've heard talk of red brand robes.
I do not have my red band.
We don't
brand
either.
robes. I feel like we used them some other time.
Uh-huh.
I think you
We
did.
put them on. It was like in the like a cave or something, and there was another wizard that we found.
Yeah. I think, yeah. All those. Yeah. No. Let's go north.
Yeah.
Let's be really stealthy though too, because we're at the
Yeah.
right entrance now, right?
And Zippy will
Yes.
turn invisible at this point.
Maybe we can
I have a
Zippy-
stealth of 0.
Maybe Zippy can kind of go down there and check it out and relay it back. Because honestly, we could just also just go straight in the west door as for the recommendation.
Yeah,
But-
I mean, it seems like the because Goblin Glarg, that's a main guy, isn't it? Or these three were just like randoms.
Yeah, so they were just people. They were just a goblin and 2 red brands leaving the area.
Oh, okay. They were mercenaries.
So what is your? I mean, you guys are welcome to discuss it.
I really don't like the main entrance. If we
Yeah,
could
me
avoid the
either.
main entrance, that would probably be easier.
And yeah, I'm with you. And it looks like, and now this might just be the map just being random, but on the north side, there looks like a path, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So as mentioned, like there's a path coming sort of straight down.
Yeah.
That you see some rubble around it. It may be a collapsed section, like the one, like the one that you're seeing to the north. Well, it'd be the northwest part of the tower that you're like right next to.
The corner that we're on,
Yeah, it's kind
Yeah.
of rubbly.
Let's send Zippy ahead. He's invisible. He can scope it out, and we can check down along the north. And once he reports back, we can make a better decision.
I like
we should
it.
have enough information now.
So is that your plan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should
Yeah.
be safer. He's just gonna zip along the tree line. And
Yeah.
look and-
Yeah, and I was gonna tell
He
you guys,
is
like,
invisible.
if you do move and you stick to the tree lines, you don't have to worry about stealth, other than sound, too much. But you're gonna run out of trees pretty quickly.
All right, Zippy, go find out what's going on.
All right, so whoever's running Zippy, what is he? Is he flying? Is he scurrying across the ground? Like, what's he doing?
He flies.
Invisible.
Well, he can also walk.
Invisible, and
You got to call your shots
No.
here. All right, so he's going invisible.
yeah.
All right, and then
When
he
he
can.
does this, he's always invisible.
Well, click the invisible.
Yeah, only if you make him
Where-
invisible.
Where's the invisible?
It's in his actions.
Yeah. Ooh.
We'll do that
Um,
with me.
Sure thing. All right, so Zippy's
That-
gonna.
Is he invisible now?
Nope.
I clicked it.
There it is.
There it is. Look at that fancy icon. Who drew that? All right. Let's.
And the sound effect too.
I did not do that. I cannot take credit.
All
All
right,
right.
fair
So Zippy can move up to 40 feet. So, move Zippy wherever you want him, whatever his course is going
We're
to be.
doing the north tree line. The top tree line.
You guys need to pay Zippy more. He does a lot of your heavy lifting.
Like
All right.
right there.
There you go. And if you keep him focused, you'll see what you see. So, as Zippy, pulls around, he sees that indeed that rubble is blocking any sort of entryway into this castle. He hears a little bit of more snoring, and sees the second tower sort of poke round. Seems that each of these towers has some sort of a window, on each of its edges, right? So, without rolling anything, that's about all he can know. He's still quite a ways from the castle.
Hey, Favia, can you tell whether or not there are window panes, or if there's actually open windows? Or if there's no window pane in them at all?
So I'll ask Zippy all those. Does he have to come back, or do we have?
No,
I
you
can't
have
remember.
you have the connection. I think we established it was up to 120 feet or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll ask him.
Yeah. So you're at 40 now, so you can do 3 more 40-foot moves, and then you're going to run out of. You're going to get a fuzzy signal. Yeah. So he, and we also established that he does know common. So
Right.
he relays in words, not just like vague imagery. That was one of the reboots of Zippy. Yeah, so these are openings, a la castle, right? There's no glass to be had. They're just openings open to the air. If there had ever been glass in them, it's been destroyed at this point, just like the majority of the castle.
So are the windows big enough that he could poke his head in and look and see? Like his whole body may not
Yeah.
fit in there, but he should
He
be
sure-
able to see.
He sure could.
Are there any windows that you would like him to go up to?
Tell him to watch for booby traps or magic
Yeah.
ward that could potentially trip any sort of movement, even if he's in biz.
I think he has danger sense on. I saw that. Does he have that on?
Is it passive?
It was
Or-
also checked. It was also checked as one of the actions. I think.
Yeah, I think that's a passive.
Variant thing.
Yes, and danger sense is danger sense.
Is that like Spidey scent?
Is this Spidey Tingle?
Yeah, I gotta see what danger sense is. I think is that under where it be
You
that.
gain at second level. You gain an uncanny sense of when things nearby aren't as they should be, giving you an edge when you dodge away from danger. You have an advantage on dexterity saving throws against effects that you can see, such as traps and spells. To gain this benefit, you cannot be blinded, deafened, or incapacitated.
Yeah. So yeah. So if you were in, I think basically he can't be really surprised, but you're not going to get an advantage on like detecting traps or magic or any of that stuff. But he can roll that. He can roll that stuff.
Okay.
Hey, Mark, we can't hear you for some reason. You're muted.
Tom, I was just wanting to
There you
say it's kind of like Knight Rider, if you remember that car Kit.
Yeah.
Michael,
Yeah.
I sense danger.
Exactly.
I was thinking Archer, the danger zone.
Danger zone.
I love Archer.
Ah,
I'm so glad they haven't canceled that.
Lana.
But in the spirit of not having another episode where all you guys do is talk and wander, let's have Zippy sort of, you can move your 40 feet, and then you can either roll stuff, know stuff, or make a play. So I heard rumors of going to a window.
Well, that's what I'm asking. If there's a window that you guys want him to go up to. It's gonna pick the closest window, which is this one over here. Well, I was gonna go right there.
Yeah, get in there and find out some more good stuff. Because we can sneak in there, right? Maybe.
I was gonna go right there and look in the window.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. So no, I said if he does poke his head in, I think poking his head in, he can see what's directly in front of him. But he's not necessarily going to be silent if he does anything other than poke his head in, just so you know.
Right.
All right.
Right.
All right. So let's see. What does he see? Well, he pops his head into this little area, and it's dark. He has dark vision, right?
Yes. Let me double check. Dark vision, 120 feet, passive.
Okay. Uno momento. There we go. Yeah, so he sees in the room, this chamber occupies sort of this north tower of the castle. And what he sees when he peeks in is a stone altar stands in the middle of the room, covered with a bloodstained black cloth. Golden ritual implements, a chalice, a knife, a censer, are all sort of carefully arranged on top of the altar. And 2 archways to the south are covered with heavy curtains. And because of the angle that he's at, he also sees 2 goblins. One seems to be a boss, and the other 2 are praying.
Huh.
Okay. Oh yeah, let's kill them when they're praying. That's good.
But this is high up, right? Or no?
Nope, this is all ground level. Well, roughly. I mean, you might rise a foot or 2 up and down, but like for the most part, yeah, you're just looking into this chamber. And worth noting is that this room is unlit. He notices that there's no natural light source. So if he didn't have dark vision, he wouldn't be able to see.
Is there any like openings that we can fit through anywhere there that he can see?
Are you asking that? Well, Alicia, does everyone have permission to ask questions on behalf of you to Zippy, for Zippy to answer?
Yes.
All right. So,
like, I would have to relay them, but yes.
Yeah. So we won't play that game. So as long as you're cool with that, and you trust these guys to not say like, and he jumps into the room, and all right. So what was your question, Skylar?
Does little Zippy see anything that, like a little like, because there's damaged rubble? Is there a way anywhere we can get into the thing without going through the main gate?
From where you're sitting, it looks like on the far wall, at least on the east side, you can't quite see the west side. But it looks like there's a curtain that might be an opening. Otherwise, you don't see any other way into or out of that room. But from where you guys are standing, there's no way in. Like there's no out from the outside, at least from where he's at now.
So we're just getting a view.
You're just
getting a view of what's going on inside.
Yeah, you now have awareness of some goblins that you might have just stumbled upon. Who knows?
Yeah. Why don't we just, like, I think if we listen to the druid dude, we should just kind of maybe try to stealthily go in, because there's a guy sleeping in there. Maybe we can like sneak in.
Okay.
We gotta do some battling though.
So you guys got to ask yourself: is Skylar wanting to sneak in, or is he wanting to like stop being bored and blow some stuff up?
Sneak and then kill. Sneak and kill. Sneak and kill.
I have 0 health.
But you have 0 health.
Stealth.
Oh, stealth. I thought you said health. I'm like, you should not go in and fight.
Yeah, no. Why is this 0?
So she's constantly got pockets full of change, pretty much, is what you're saying.
Yes, and bells.
And bells
and whistles and all the things.
All right.
So just from what you guys know, there's roughly a 25% chance that if you walked in the front gate, you'd be seen. Just knowing that these goblins may or may not be sleeping and they're lazy, right? Like, so you figure your odds are roughly 25%. The fates will decide if they see you or not. If you go in the front door.
That we can see.
We can't hear you, Mark.
Like, by the way, you guys are standing there. Karen has nodded off, like she's like leaned up against a tree, and like she's sound asleep, because if not, she would have already stormed the front of the castle at this point.
Well,
Karen,
could Zippy not just walk in through the front door while being invisible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just see if they're sleeping or not, or
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Right, but the DM just said we have a 25% chance. So
yeah,
one goes in.
Yeah, but
Zippy hears it and is like,
wants,
walking in.
Our DM also wants Zippy dead.
Yeah, but Zippy's not wearing armor. I mean, I think just like walking normally is going to be like pretty stealthy.
Fair enough.
Kind of gonna go whistling, just
Yeah.
nonchalant, just yeah.
Howdy, y'all.
Well, and what do we do after that? I guess that's my question. Do we know where? Well, let's see. Let's just figure out what's going on around the front door.
Am I at the front door, or is it more to the other side?
You want me to move him to the front door? He can move there without stealth.
Yeah.
So now that little Zippy's seen it, then I will open up the front door to you.
Okay, we're excited.
Right, so now you guys can sort of see, right? So what little Zippy's like? So he just sort of pauses there for a second, right? Which I think is the fair thing to do.
Fair enough.
And so Zippy gets, right up to the front. I got to back up one more screen so I can find out. All right. So, Zippy sees that he can sort of fly in a ways. There's some rubble on the ground. Once he really gets into the castle, the ceilings are about 15 feet, right? And that's kind of a lot to ask of Zippy to try to sort of maintain, equidistance. It's like Flappy Bird, right? Between the ceiling and the ground. So, he could, I would give you sort of running little flights, but like he's going to land periodically, right? I'd give you sort of the movement speed, but he can get pretty close. And so from where he's at, I will even safely move him. He does, at this point, can see in both arrow slits. There's no goblins present. I mean, there's no goblins looking out the window. It's not big enough to see if the rooms are empty, but Karen did see an eyeball poke its way through the one to the south. And as he gets as far as he can fly is right about here. There. Right? Sort of safely. And what he sees is it's sort of a foyer where the room opens up to the north. And there's a door. It's sort of think of it as sort of like a half of a T. Probably a better letter, but it's sort of like a half of a T.
Okay.
It goes north of him and south of him and then goes east of him. And to the east is a door, a couple of doors. To the north is a door that leads somewhere, maybe up to the snoring, whatever they are. He can sort of see the wall, sort of looks like it might terminate at a door just to his north and to his south. To his north, assuming that is the entrance to maybe where the goblin archer is supposed to be posted. Looking south, he sees some rubble. As well as a door heading south. And that's passively all I can tell you. If he goes any further, he needs to land and walk.
And is that just assuming he was doing perception at the same time? Or can I roll perception for him too?
You would have to roll perception.
Okay, I will roll perception for him. I am worried about hitting that quick key. I don't know who I'm going to roll it for, so I'm going to not use it.
Whoever's character sheet is showing and highlighted, or like whatever has focus.
Okay. Let's see if that worked. Sees nothing. See, I clicked on him, and I know, but I clicked on him, and he was up front. So
wait. But for your hotkey, you have it. I'm sorry, you have two characters, so it's going to be for whichever character you drag you're going to need two different shortcuts.
Yeah, so I'll just roll his the old-fashioned way.
Hey,
what did you drag into the spot?
Look at that.
I dragged the dice.
Okay.
Drag the dice.
So, let's see here. Passive. Oh, all right. Man, I hate Zippy. All right, so Zippy, so Zippy, Zippy listens like intently, and right, and his wings don't make a whole lot of sound, but he does notice that the dust is starting to swirl beneath him. So if anyone were to come in, they would notice, right? So he's aware of that. But what he hears is to his north, in that sort of arrow alcove. It sounds like there's probably two goblins from sort of the gurgly sounds. The two to the north are definitely asleep. To the south, he hears one goblin snoring, but maybe has heard a little shuffling, but nothing. Nothing can determine whether that other goblin's awake or asleep. But it sounds like there's 2 above and 2 below. But interestingly, like saving you guys a bit of flashback to the Defiance of Flan, he does notice that on that east wall, he just spies a bit of cable running across the floor. It seems like that eastern door might be trapped.
Freaking goblins.
Flipping Zippy in his 17. I didn't want to give that one away. Yeah, and everything else is too obscured, right? Like over the snoring of the goblins and the ambient sounds and sort of the fluttering of his wings. Like that's all he can sort of pick up.
Well, I say
I will relay all that.
Do you guys want to? Well, actually, go ahead, Stephen. You started to say something.
I was gonna say let's go down and try to avoid the trap, and then go inside.
Yay.
Yes.
So
Okay.
is Zippy going to stay where he's at, sort of kicking up the dust, or is he coming back out a little bit, or is he going in walking?
I say
He
stay
is
there.
gonna.
Go ahead.
Land.
He's gonna land in a safe spot.
All right, so you put him where you want him to be.
Okay.
Except for he could be in the path of the trap, so just safe spot is key.
Well, he has to land if he has to land to the east of where he's at. He can't land inside. He's already sort of tapped out. He has to walk if he goes any further.
East is.
I'm sorry, to the
right.
west. To the west. To the west. Yeah.
Right.
So he can land anywhere from where he is to the west.
Is the west to the left, like out
Yes.
the building?
Yes, like he can land anywhere over here, right?
Okay.
He cannot land in here.
Okay. I just want to make sure. So
Yeah.
I'll have him land like towards, like, out of sight of one of those arrow holes, but like against the wall.
There
All right.
you go.
Well, he is invisible, so that's not going to matter. So he's
but
there,
Still,
and he's still invisible, right?
yes.
All right. So from where Zippy's at, interestingly, random or strategic place to go, he can see in through that slit that one of the goblins is asleep, and the other is just sort of like bored, like picking at his fingers with his with an arrow, just sort of leaning his back to the wall, not ready to really shoot out of the arrow slit, but not asleep.
So we should attempt to not make a lot of noise. Probably, right?
Which one is not sleeping?
One to the
The one away from him?
So it's the one on the southern tower that he's right next to, right? He can see straight through. There's a goblin. Yes, that's that gobbledygook there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's glorious. Got to get that out of here. Driving me nuts. All right.
I was actually in the middle of erasing it.
Yeah. All right, guys. So I will give you, as a party, a free move. I can move you guys all to sort of the entrance if you want to make your way in. Or what is your strategy to get into the castle?
Quietly?
Or
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
you going north or south? Or like, I don't want to put words in your mouth. I'm trying to figure out where you guys are going with this.
Well, we tried to go north, and it didn't seem like it was panning out.
Yeah, we're going in.
Well,
that
if
door
we're
down
gonna
there.
go through the entrance, we definitely have to do something with that guy that's in the arrow slit that's not sleeping.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Somebody
Or-
dispatched him.
Just try not to wake him up or disturb him.
No,
Yeah.
just-
I got,
but he's awake and bored.
Yeah.
If he sees us, he could be like, "Hey, there's some there's people
Yeah,
here."
and there's 5 of us, full-sized people around trying to get in the door.
somebody just kill him.
Yeah, let's try killing him.
Are any of
Kill
you
somebody's blood.
Are any of you
Yeah.
good on stealth? I don't even know.
Can you shoot him through the arrow slit?
You could, yeah.
But
So
I have to roll.
you could get a shot through the arrow set. You would have line of sight. I would even give you advantage, right?
Yeah,
because
he's-
although by the time you get down there, I will roll a die to see if there's that 25% chance that he sort of like is doing his job.
Hey,
Right,
I got that special like luck thing, so I can do a do-over. So I can stealth, and if I fail, I can do-over again.
That's true.
What about Favia? Why don't you come over here?
+3 to stealth.
I will let you guys
Yes, I will
move
come closer.
all the way into those trees if you want. Like, you don't have to, like, there's no stealthy movement there. Like, as long as you're staying in that cover, I can move that whole lot of you there if that's what you want to do.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I got no stealth.
I like it.
All right, so let me move you guys if that'll move you guys forward. I'm playing.
+4 with stealth, FYI.
Well, and I feel like Zip would give me advantage of telling me where to shoot my arrow, like where to aim.
Yes.
That window, he's right there. He's right there.
All right, so you guys can see, little Zippy on the porch, I assume, right? You can see the window he's in front of. Nick and Noodle, from where you are, you can kind of see into the room. It's not lit. It's a dark room. But so it's dark enough that from where you're standing, even with dark vision, you're not really able to make out much. You're gonna have to get closer to see what's happening there.
What is?
Hey, Tom. I have armor on. If it says +4, is that with or without the armor? I'm confused.
That is without. If you
All right,
roll,
so
if you try to roll stealth, it's with If you try to roll stealth, it's with disadvantage.
All right, let me take off my armor then.
All right, you're not in combat, so that will not take an action. It will take an action to put it back on if you enter combat.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
All right, let's do it. Where's the? How do you take off armor?
You go into your inventory.
Does anyone have armor? You might want to take it off if we're stealthing.
And then you see how it looks like a T-shirt? Click it until it looks like a bag, and then you're not wearing it anymore.
I'm done. Yep.
How do you even know if you've got it on?
You'll see a little armor icon next to your stealth.
Oh yeah, who knows?
You are wearing scale mail, Noodle. So you are wearing armor. But if your plan is that you have someone goes rogue and is dispatching goblins silently by themselves, then it may not matter.
All right. We gonna do this?
Do it.
I'm not weighing in. It's you guys.
All right. Who's gonna do it?
I
trying to.
These plot moments paralyze you guys.
I know. Let's do it.
I'm about 5 seconds from just Kool-Aid manning it right through that castle wall.
Yeah.
All right. How about this?
Okay, am I shooting the goblin that
Karen?
is awake and picking his nails?
Yeah, so just real quick, I mean, really, I think so. Karen sort of like is thinking this through, right? She's like, Kool-Aid Man, like maybe have advantage, like storm the castle, right? Because Karen asks herself, how long can we be silent?
Yes.
Right.
Right.
So, how about this? I'll shoot. I'll try to shoot, and then Karen, you can come charging if I fail.
So I will give you guys. Let's see. Let me look at the angles here. I will give you guys all the way based on the angles of the arrow slits, right? Which is aim really just that far. You guys can come all the way to here without being seen.
All right, let's do it.
Without it, I won't even let you wake him up. As soon as you set foot on this on the porch, though, all bets are off. So
That's
stack
too
up.
far, right?
No, I mean you're not in combat, so it's fine.
There.
So many
Do you
things
guys
to
want
click.
me to try to shoot the goblin or no?
Yes.
Then somebody's in my way.
Wait till everybody moves in place. So Noodle and Cyrus are staying back, it looks like, right? Let me unstack you guys.
Yeah, I can swap if you want to.
Yeah.
I'm in the way.
You want me? So I'll swap you and you and you, right?
And myself, so I'm facing the right direction.
Now, what you see? Oh yeah, I can spin you. It's a shift spin, right?
Shift.
Yeah, shift in your rotary key on your keyboard. Or on your mouse.
Okay.
Now, you can easily walk up the stairs. Or looks like south. Like the stairs go up to sort of the rise. You guys are sort of looking at ground level is about at your chest, right? So you can see that there's some chains going across. Those are the railings for the walkway. You need to go up the stairs.
Those
to
squares.
Yeah, right. So like this, I just forgot that drawing's working. This right here, you can climb. You can climb over, but it's going to be an acrobatic check, right?
Okay.
And you have to be sort of stealthy. You can go here or here, normally, right? Now, if you're going to move anything from here, if you're going to move with stealth, you got to tell me you're going stealth. Otherwise, I'm assuming it's like there's a chance that you're going to wake people up or alert somebody. Once you get onto this, I'll let you know if the goblin sees you. From where Fabi is sitting, Fabi, you got to get higher. You're not going to be able to get in, shoot through this. You're not going to be able to shoot into this. This is the slit, and this is the slit.
Or can I back up?
Yeah,
or
you have
still have to aim up.
To shoot through the southern. To shoot through this one here, you're going to need to be about here.
That's what I was thinking. Okay, but I'm safe to go up there, right?
You're safe to go up. Well, let me. The zone of danger. Let me help you get with this because I think I'm not explaining this well. Apologies. Word not my friend. You're safe where you are. As soon as you hit
any other
here,
place.
here, or here, you're now sort of line of sight with the goblin and potentially making noise. So if you can shoot them, they can shoot you, right? If you can see them, they can see you. That's sort of the rule of thumb. Does that make sense to everybody? I want to make sure that there's like no one is like, but I didn't know. I just so you know.
Got it.
Man, I'm worried that this payoff is not going to be as exciting as it all seems.
I know. Let's just kill him.
If I go up there, am I gonna have any advantage because I'm going up there specifically?
Yeah. No, you're gonna have advantage. You're gonna be able to roll with advantage. It's close enough, and you're a good enough archer that I think you can make it through that slit.
Okay.
And also, I'm gonna turn on. I need to because you already know these goblins exist. Let me just get them in the combat tracker. Give me 1 second. Right there. Put them in their positions. And let me turn them on. And while you're thinking about your move, I'm going to ask my daughter what she wants.
This is what we're doing, right? I'm going up there and I'm going to shoot the goblin, right?
Yes, do it.
Should I cast a silent spell?
Well, if you have that power, you can.
I do, but
and you can.
Is it worth doing it? Or do we just want to just go for it?
Are you asking me if it's worth doing it, or are you asking them?
No, I'm asking the team, sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
What does the silent spell do?
You
just make us silent?
Yeah, it's like basically silence in a radius.
Let's do that. Brilliant.
I could go either way.
Why don't we all do it? Then we can sneak in and kill them.
So I'm gonna assume that if Bing is gonna do that silent spell, I'm gonna give you your move after that because you'd already programmed it.
Right.
What's the radius, Mr. Bing?
I'm still not sure. It is 20-foot radius.
We're outside of you, though, aren't we?
Well, I mean, he'd move into the position. I'm assuming you'd move like here.
Yeah.
That would cover the entire patio.
The range is 120 feet, and so I was thinking about casting it somewhere like that.
Oh, got it. So I was confused. So you can say where the center is.
Yeah, the range is 120 feet. So that,
All right, so,
and then it's a 20 foot radius.
So why don't you draw? I'll erase that, and you just draw the circle.
Okay.
That represents it. Oh, I'm sorry. I started erasing you.
Yes. So since I can't really see inside, I'm just like, it'll be there, and let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20. So like that.
Okay.
Now, if anyone's really paying attention, they'll notice that things go completely silent, but... Yeah,
all right.
That's...
Yeah, so the centroid that you chose, and how long does it last? Is it a concentration?
It is, yes, it's concentration.
Okay, can you, and I can't remember can you move while concentrating? I don't believe you can. Right, I think a move or action breaks your concentration. Can you look that up while we figure this out?
I am. It's up to 10 minutes, and it is concentration. And I probably can't move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you move or try to do a different action, I believe it stops that.
Yeah.
All right. So interestingly, then I will let you have this move back, Bobby, because if he does that, then your best bet's to move because the stair that you were on, it wouldn't be covered.
Right.
Right. So you're there. Now you can move anywhere within that ring silently and position yourself. And then I only need to roll a die to see if he happens to be like, when you look through the window, if he's looking back at you. Doing his job.
Right
Alright,
in front of him. I can't really tell.
All right, and let me roll my die. Oop. And before I do this, are you standing with your bow raised, or are you? I'm assuming you're looking like you're ready to shoot into the window at like when you come upon.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's see what happens here. You got lucky. So yeah. So what you see is a goblin standing there, and I think where you're standing, you should be able to see him. Correct?
I do, and I see the other one too.
There you go. So
Do
the
I
other
roll
one
with advantage, you said?
Yep, you roll with advantage.
Where am I? Oh, I gotta. Assuming it's that one, right?
Yep. That's him. It has been 4 weeks since you guys killed anything.
Yeah.
Kill them on, pigs! Kill them all! Kill them with fire!
What was that?
I heard something kill it with fire.
So yeah, so you needed to do it with advantage. Yep. And you did it. All right. You all now. Oh, Karen already rolled initiative. Yeah, like you guys all need to roll into. Karen's ready.
I saw another die and I was like, "What is that?"
Right. So, so this goblin, while you guys are rolling initiative, let me roll their initiative too. There we go. Now you know what you guys are beating. They had some shitty initiatives, by the way.
One. Give me issues that.
So this goblin, this goblin Clag is his name, falls to the ground and lets out this giant wail, and like is freaked out because no sound escapes his voice.
Yeah.
Right? So he can't alert anybody. You hit him so hard that he can shoot back at you, but he's not in any condition to sort of make big moves at this point. All right. So, did everyone roll their initiative? I believe so. Noodle, you need to roll your initiative. To roll your initiative, it is on your main tab under Init.
That's what I thought.
I'll give you a get out of jail free on this one. You guys literally have not rolled initiative in 4 weeks.
I'm putting them. Did I just roll intelligence?
You did.
Yep,
Yes.
sure did.
Which doesn't make you very smart, does it?
Snap.
Ah, the irony.
So interestingly,
Where is it?
Your
It's
first
right.
page?
It's on your main, and it's
The main
in
tab.
between your two. It's in between your two rows of abilities.
Between AC and speed.
Oh my god, you guys.
okay, I'm gonna roll it for you
Jesus.
while you find it. All right,
Just do it. Yeah.
and you got a 14. All right.
Look at me.
So what's interesting is that that right now, Clag is having a really bad day, right? However, Krink, off to his left, is getting the best sleep he's ever gotten because it is unbelievably quiet. Not only that, that the two goblins sleeping in the other arrow chamber, to your north. One of them is also in this radius and is like sleeping like a baby, and the other one is just sleeping normally, right? So I mean, I guess the lesson here is don't hire goblins to secure your fortress. All right, this means we are getting ready to start combat.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Ironically, and much to my chagrin, Fabia, you go first. Now remember,
That goblin's not dead, right? That I hit initially.
No.
Critical.
I hate to say it, but probably not yet. So just a reminder for those who haven't played in a while, the way that combat now works is at the top of every round, you guys get a few seconds to sort of, 30 whatever seconds to sort of figure out what your strategy is for that round, right? We go through the round, you do your thing, and then we re-roll initiative at the top of every round, right? Right now, there's really only one goblin in true combat, even though there's awareness of the other goblins, right? So unless anyone jostles Mark and breaks his concentration, from a silence perspective, you should be okay. Karen's really she's like,
Oh.
man, I want to get through there. All right,
I was just going to try to finish this one off.
all right, go for it.
Do I still get advantage or no?
No, not at this point. You've had all of the advantage you need.
I was just checking.
No. And you hit.
Nice.
And visually awesome, but audibly sort of anticlimactic. This goblin just crumples to the ground in silence. Not even jostling his partner awake. So as far as the other goblins are concerned, you guys are just hanging out. All right. So you are no longer in combat. Mark, if you do move, you will break concentration. So
I'm just staying there. I'm just
Yeah.
I'm just staying right there.
Oh crap, where's the combat tracker?
Yeah.
2 swords.
All right.
I
so
forwarded my...
So we don't even need to here's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, combat's over.
Yeah, well, it's weird. There's still 3 other goblins in combat, arguably, but they're not going to do anything. So for each of their turns, I'm just going to skip. So we'll go through this round and we'll go through the motions. Mr. Bing, you can do what you want to do, and then we'll have each of you move in turn.
All right.
Okay.
My armor on, Thomas.
All right, Noodle, you doing anything?
Yeah, right there. I moved.
You're good to go. All right. For your action, so you can move, Steven. You can also we do have a slight problem. So you guys can't get. You're gonna have to climb over the fence to get past Bing without jostling him, right? Because he's literally standing in the doorway.
Yeah.
He's you see him concentrating in the stairway, and if you go up the north stairs, you are out of the zone of silence.
Right.
But if you crawl under that railing, I won't even make you roll an acrobatics check. Just make sure that you guys go in this way.
All right.
So there, okay.
Sounds good.
All right. Zippy is up.
Oh, he's just gonna hang out.
All right. Then
Ready
that takes
for whatever.
that takes us to Nick. You can squeeze on
All right.
past Skylar without incident. Where are you heading? Okay, so you silently make your way up. You still have another 20 feet of movement. You can see sleeping right through the slot to the north. You can see Goblin Flick. I believe you should be able to see him, right?
Yeah, I can see him.
Yeah. So you have.
I'm gonna move. I'm gonna move here. Just out of sight, but still be able to, kind of like be able to hear whether or not he jumps.
Okay. You can't hear diddly because all you hear is silence. But yeah.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
All right, that ends your
You just
turn.
don't-
I'll I'll advance the combat tracker just to make it faster. Jimbo, Jimbo's sound asleep. Karen, you're up.
Where should I go? I don't know.
Kill the other goblin.
So you can so Mark Cyrus's zone of silence extends to the east and to the south. So you could, just so you know, this is how the silence thing works. You could go all the way in and make your way around to possibly to the doorway to where the other goblin is, silently. Right. So anything within that circle, you can move there without having to roll stealth or anything. You could just basically move your entire movement without penalty. Yeah, so I don't know who drew that, but yeah, that's a thing you could do.
Great thought, Cyrus.
Karen, you're so
This is
quiet.
awesome.
Karen's so quiet. What's going on?
I just picture this silent movie of him just like screaming at the top of his lungs, but we can't hear anything.
In all of the research I did for this level, you guys, not one party used silence. Look, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. All right, so Karen, it's just weird to see Karen moving, almost angelically, making zero sound. Right? She's kicking up brush and stuff's moving around, but not a single sound is happening. Right? It's almost it's almost otherworldly.
I would feel like she'd be purposely trying to make noise. Just see how good the spell is.
I'm just hearing Chariot of Fire.
So Karen, what you see when you get there though is there's this door stands closed to the north and to the south with a crumbling mound of rubble partially obscuring the southern hall. To the east, a broader corridor ends in two more doors, sort of heading south and east. The corridor is cluttered with dusty rubble and fallen plaster from a partial collapse of the ceiling overhead. And you can sort of see across the ground. Bloop. Let me add it to the combat tracker. The trap. The trap in front of the door. All right. And then I believe Skylar, you were up next, right?
Yeah, I put on my armor, and I just moved forward. I don't know how far.
You can move up to 30 feet. You went so far. You went 10.
Is there traps in here?
Well, Zippy said one. Yeah, so I'll draw on the map.
Go?
So this is where he saw that there's a tripwire.
Okay, so I can move forward.
Yep.
Is that still in the cone right there?
It is in the cone.
I'm a cone in it.
So you've learned nothing that Karen didn't already know from a visual perspective. But you do see that it's a wire that could possibly be disarmed. But it is outside of the zone. Looking to your south, yeah, you see a door. You see a door to the south, just past some rubble. And that door, there's no other way to get into the arrow area. So your gut tells you that somewhere down there is possibly the entrance to the second goblin.
Okay. I can't do anything now, right?
You can take an action. Oh no, wait, you put on your armor, so that was your action. So you made all your movement. Yeah, that's all you can do.
Okay, let me advance my thingy.
Advance indeed.
I'm trying to find it.
I'll do it.
Thank you.
All right, that's the end of the round, and I'm going to save us some time. I'm going to roll initiative for everybody. So we now re-rolled.
I put it on a hotkey now.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
okay.
I got my hotkey too.
Next time, I will not take that joy away from you. So the way this restacked, and you guys can decide if there's any change to your strategy or want to continue. Nick, you're at the top of the stack this time.
Okay. I think I'm gonna go over by Skylar there, and yeah, I'm just gonna go over by Skylar.
What's our overall plan this round? Are we just gonna rush the room and
Do it, Karen.
Are we ready or no?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm ready to rush the room. I mean, we're like dead silent right now.
Oh, so Nick, so what you see from where you're at, you see that door to the south, which is clearly in the silent zone.
Yep.
But then you also see the door that seems to lead to the second set of goblins. To get to that door, you have to leave the silent zone.
Right. I'm gonna stay here just to be kind of like a lookout.
Okay.
In case that door potentially opens. So I think I'm gonna be ready on that door.
Sounds good. All right, so then your turn ends. Goblin Flick, I'm gonna see if he wakes up. He does not wake up. He's still asleep. Karen, you are up.
All right.
Karen.
I'm going to take a little baby step around the corner just to see what I see.
All right.
Baby.
Oh, you hit a wall. Let me drag you in place. So what you see is a pile of rubble to the east, and to the south, you see a closed door. That's what you see. You don't hear anything. So I would say you guys should roll a perception check. They're not what you can't perceive in silence.
With your eyes, Thomas.
Yeah, I was afraid of that. What
Well,
about
you can
what
see
about
stuff?
verbal?
Yeah.
What about verbal spells?
What about verbal spells? I'm
I
for
don't
them.
think those will work.
They won't work in silence?
No, because you can
No.
also use it to silence like wizards to keep them from casting.
Yep.
Yep.
Happy.
I can't really tell. Is there any other space where the goblin was that we killed? Like, is there anything else in there? Or is it all through that door? Do we think?
Yeah, so what you know, just sort of spatially, you know that directly to your left is a giant thick wall, right? Because that window was probably 5 feet thick, right? And you're about 5 feet in. So your assumption is sort of through that door to the left is the corpse of Clag, and you knew from where Fabia had seen that the other goblin was sleeping in sort of the southwestern corner of that room. So sort of spatially, your brain says, I think you can see this, right? Like here. You think the goblin's roughly there.
All right. I guess I should just go in.
Yes.
Does that sound good?
Send it.
Yeah.
Leroy Jenkins.
All right. This is such a... Wait, you get to this for 10 rounds, right?
Yep.
All right. So, you can't go there yet, Cliff. I got to open the door first.
Hell, he can't.
Yeah. So you open the door. You open the door. Let me put these right where they go. There we go. Yeah. So you open the door, and it's completely silent. The door just swings open, and from where you sit, you can see 1, 2, 3 sleeping goblins. Like they're sound asleep. Like they are in a deep slumber, and like they're having a great rest because it has never been so silent in this damn cave.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome. Karen, just do it.
Go, Karen, go.
Now, Now, before you rage, do you have to say anything to rage?
I think I just gotta feel it.
Okay.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, I'm not suggesting you rage, but like, that's where my spidey sense says you're probably going. I gotta roll these guys initiative real quick.
That's awesome.
Not that
So
Karen,
fantastic.
not that Karen would have cared, but like he can even throw even
She.
more. Oh yeah, she can throw even more caution to the wind, seeing as how she is dead silent with every fucking move she makes.
Yeah, this is. I love that you guys. Look, the last session was a lot of talking. This one has been bizarre.
I think
All right,
the
so Karen,
lesson lear- the
you can
lesson
move in
learned
now.
Here is we come up with a strategy and we execute it quickly.
That's right.
Always is good results.
Go,
Look.
Karen, go.
All right, so Karen, I'll move you back to where you were now that that has been enabled. So that's where you move to. It is close quarters fighting, but you're within 5 feet of Glack and within 5 feet, not quite line of sight of Ranjack, and you see Glorp, sound asleep. And like Karen gets this giant grin on her face because she knows that no matter how hard she smashes, Glack in the head, right? No one else is going to hear a thing. It's almost sad.
Get it over with.
All right, let me get stuff cooking.
Oh, by the way, Karen, to the west is a door that you don't see the archer, but you see a door just off to your character's facing is to the right, so it'd be to the west.
Yes.
Where those tables are?
Yeah, so right here, I mean, like it's because he's standing there, I can even open it up for him. Let me move him out of the way. So let me open that up.
Is it nighttime now?
It's still dawn.
Oh, okay.
So you can see sleeping a goblin Crink. So within your purview right now is 4 sleeping goblins.
So wait, how does this work?
She's all, yes.
Can someone else fit in there, or what's the plan?
Fit in where?
Into the room with Karen.
Yeah, they'd have to. They could travel onto the rubble. If he smashes a head, like again, it is like as you can see, Karen, those beds are just sort of cattywampus thrown in there. Like it's not. There's no feng shui. They're goblins.
Yeah. Tom, can I actually get over on the other side of Glack? I wasn't sure if I could walk on the rubble or not.
You could. Yeah, you could. Like within that same, you could end up here.
Nice. That way I can reach out and touch everybody.
Can I go there, Thomas?
Not on your turn. You can't.
Come on.
So Karen pulled a movement that I wasn't going to mention, but I was surprised that she hadn't made. But now there she is, right? So she's made her way around. She now has line of sight and reach to all 3 sleeping goblins.
Do it.
Okay, taking my first swing here. I've got I raged and then I frenzied, so should get 2 attacks here. So I'll go after Glack.
You know, in the first Guardians of the Galaxy, when Rocket Raccoon in the prison gets the gun thrown to him? Oh, yeah.
So you do connect, and you one-hit smash Glack. So I'm gonna check something real quick. 1 second.
Does the blood splatter hit the other person?
No, yeah. So I was rolling a 20, and if I got a 1, bits of Glack would potentially wake up the other goblins. But alas, you rolled a 12 in the tower here. I did. So, Glack is no more.
All right, going after Glorp.
Yeah, I never even got to use my Glack attack phrase, but okay. You connected again. Oh my god, you have a +7.
God.
He's gone.
Poor John.
All right. No. Look, this is fascinating, right? So Glorp, Glorp now resembles his name. He's like a big Glorp on the bed. Let me see if any of Glorp bits hit anybody else, and they do not. So you've contained the splatter. The bed sort of absorbed the blood. So Fabia, you are outside.
If I reposition myself in that window, can I see the other goblins?
Yes.
Oh my god.
So, oh, I'm sorry. To the other, I'm sorry. I'm gonna cancel that. I thought you meant the other window. Could you see the goblins? No, you wouldn't be able to.
Oh,
you wouldn't.
is there? Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to hit
like-
Crink to your south. Yeah.
Should
Yeah.
I stay out here and fight the goblins from outside, or should I go inside? You guys?
Are you talking about the one north or the one where Kieran is?
Any of them. Should I stay out here and try to fight them from outside, or should I go inside?
You can go inside. I mean, they're not gonna. You can make as much noise. Like the entire tower that Karen is in could completely crumble to the ground and nobody would hear it.
So
Can I...
from a math perspective, you would have direct line of sight to Crink if you moved straight in and straight down. Or you also, I think you had a question about, do you have line of sight to the window to the north? You would have line of sight to 2 goblins there, but they are not in the silent zone.
No, I'm just the ones in the silent zone.
You mean
So if I
the
move-
one?
No,
There's still
there's 2. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
you could move to have
So-
line of sight to one, but not the other.
But I can move inside and have line of sight, right?
No. Let me rephrase. So let me cancel that for you. So if you were to move, I think what you're after is you can move here. That's your entire. That is literally the end of your movement, right? You have line
Okay.
of sight to
Yeah.
Crink. But if you move anywhere in here, there's no one to shoot.
No. Okay.
So you do you.
And would I have line of sight to any of them outside? No.
Not in this room, no.
Not
Nope.
even Goblin Crink.
Not from outside. Yeah, nope, not from outside.
Even if I was like where Zippy is?
Nope. I don't know how else to tell you no, but yeah, there's no way you can shoot in
Okay.
through that through that slit and hit
Okay.
anything. So let me put you back where you were, and you can decide what your move is. Let me go. There
Because
you
there's
go.
only one goblin in the silence in the other one, right? And I don't have line of sight to that one.
Right. No, you would if you would through the window.
Like, if I came up there.
Yeah. You'd have to move right. Let me move you, because you're sort of half off the grid here. Hold on.
Sorry.
There you go. Now you have line of sight to Flick.
You guys want me to try for the other tower?
Yes, do it.
All right,
Do
let me
I have
roll.
advantage on? Do I have advantage on this one, Tom?
You do, because he's sleeping.
Is it okay, everybody?
Yes.
Yeah,
All right.
do it.
Okay.
So you see that he's sound asleep. I don't have to roll the 25% thing because he's not doing his job. You do have an advantage, so click the advantage button.
I did.
And he is luckily just barely in that zone of silence.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it is you do this. It's just the weirdest sensation that you release the bow and the arrow, and you don't hear anything. You just see it sailing through the air.
Nice job.
And you one hit kill. What is with your guys' hits tonight? Holy smokes! Yeah, there you go. So yeah, poor little goblin Flick, silently, crumples in a heap. Was already sleeping, so and you hit him with an arrow. So I'm not even going to, you aren't smashing, so there's no peripheral damage potentially. So you're good to go.
Okay. I will move things along.
So Goblin Crink is still asleep. I'm going to roll to make sure he doesn't wake up. He does not. So his turn is ended. That brings us to, little Zippy. Now, don't forget, little Zippy can't really fly too much in the, he can do a little hop flight.
Right.
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 And it is silent, so he could, I'll give him like 3/4 distance, so more than a walk, halfway between a walk and a fly. Just assuming he's sort of doing the turkey thing, right?
Because he could come in here and attack the other one down here, right? He has that much movement, right?
Well, you can't walk through a wall, so you'd have to go.
Well, I can't see where I'm going. I'm sorry.
Well, you should be able to see. Yeah, you should be able to see that he has to move. Yeah, first there, that's 10. And then he can move another 10, I believe, right? For walking? Yeah, he can move 20 feet. Oh, no, sorry, special move. He can move 30, so he has 20 more.
I can move him, like, right here.
No, that's through a wall. He has to move straight down.
Oh, sorry.
Are the walls not working for you guys? Are you not seeing the walls?
No, I can see him.
All right. So you are line of sight to Ranjack, right? But it is sort of around a corner. So you'd have to attack with disadvantage because you don't have true line of sight because he's partially. I'm sorry, not disadvantage.
But he's not a line of sight. He would have to get up close to somebody.
Oh, well,
right?
No, yeah, okay, yeah, you're right because it'd be cover. Yeah, he's not. That's obscuring his ability to sting, right? I was saying with a normal person, they could sort of melee around a thing because he's under partial cover.
Right.
Right, that little wall bit right there. So, although he is positioned pretty well, right, for his next move.
Yes. So I'll just stay there.
Wait,
Awesome.
He could have moved 20, right?
20, yeah.
He only moved 15?
No, he moved 20.
He moved 10 and then 15.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, never mind.
I see where you're going with that, though. I appreciate it.
And he's still invisible because he hasn't attacked anybody.
He has not attacked. He is 100% invisible. And unbelievably silent right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Noodle. Noodle's still hanging outside.
Yeah. But I can come up around the steps, right?
Oh, you can go all the way in, right? Yeah, like you could safely, quietly move another 20 feet. So now another 15 feet.
Oh, I'm good.
All right. And Mr. Bing, he's sitting there going, all right, so let me make sure see if Jimbo wakes up. Does not. So he just continues to snore. I assume you can't hear it because you're within the zone. So there you go. All right, Skylar, you are up.
All right.
The action to the south is well covered. You do know that if you move north, you will be leaving the silent zone.
It's not like I have much of a choice. You guys okay if I go up?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
actually
good.
ready there right now. So if you go north,
because you can't move your centroid, can you, Mark? Like once you place it, it's it, right?
Yeah.
That would be unfair if you could move your silence around as a team.
I'm gonna move stealthily Thomas up too. At least I can try stealth.
All right, so you're moving. So this is your movement, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. I need you to roll stealth. Right, and you're gonna need it above. You're gonna need to beat a 10.
So I'm just going to.
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
wow,
Because by the way, I wasn't gonna remind you because we've been like you had your armor on, so you've now Jimbo's awake, and hold on, I gotta open something else up. Where'd it go? There it is. Yeah, Jimbo's awake, and you hear sort of through the doors, not directly from the room to your north, but somewhere more muffled, you hear a bunch of stirring.
Ooh,
So as if you've alerted something.
all right, I can still open this door, right?
Yeah, you haven't used all your movement, so but you don't have advantage. As soon as you open that door up, the goblin has a free shot at you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you, like, imagine you're asleep, and then you hear clang, 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 and like then someone bursts in the door. I think you'd be ready for them.
Oh wait, so the 10 was him waking up.
Your lack of stealth woke him up.
Wow, that is one agile goblin. Impressive.
I mean, not really. I mean, think about it. Like you went what 5, 10, 15, 20 feet clanging your armor, and they give him plenty of time to sort of wake up and go like, "What the hell?" I mean, assuming that he's a guard like that's supposed to be on duty, right? So, if he hears some clanging outside of his door, he's gonna shoot the first thing that comes through it.
All right, so I'm gonna wait then. I'm gonna wait for him to come out and then hope that I can kill him when he opens the door to investigate.
Awesome. All right, and yeah, you can ready yourself if you want to do that, which means like if he opens the door, then you get a right of attack.
I'm gonna ready myself.
Awesome, cool. All right, Skylar, you end your turn, and then we go to the next.
1 second. Just jump into that screen and boom.
All right, we are at the top of the next round. So, do you guys want to roll your own initiatives, or you want me to roll them for you?
Initiative.
I don't care.
All right, it's fun to roll dice, so I figured you guys might want to roll your own. I will roll for the baddies.
Ooh, oh yeah. Oh, zippy.
All right, Noodle, did you get yours? Yeah, you did. So everybody rolled, right?
Did I roll mine?
No. You now have. Twice you
sweet.
did. All right.
Sweet, for the same number. Awesome.
All right, so let me take it to the top of the round. I don't know why I put it on Clag. Poor Clag is dead.
This might be my last round too, because I got to go around just 9.
Yeah, no, I think that's probably the case for everybody.
Okay,
Cool. All right, so Jimbo is awake, and he hears you coming. He hears you coming, or hears something outside the door. But of course, he's a goblin. It woke him up. He's not sure if it's friend or foe or whatever else. So being a good guard, the first thing he does is he pops and sees Fabia, looking back at him, right? So he's going to attack Fabia.
Oh, Fabia.
With his short bow. Attack Fabia.
Wait, I'm still outside, right?
Yeah, but you're in front of this arrow slit.
Oh,
So he does hit you.
Jesus.
And what's he do to you? Jesus, not much.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so you're barely nicked, right? So your healer sees this gets a little blood on her. Noodle gets a little blood. You guys are just very impressed that Cyrus is not even distracted by the arrow that went flying by his head. But safe to say, Jimbo sees 3 other characters, right? Like he sees 3 people in front, so he knows there's at least 3 people, right? And starts to scream, we're under attack! We're under attack! Oh wait.
Wait.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Does he step into like?
Yeah. You got me.
How close?
God damn it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because to be perfectly frank, to get that shot off, I was just trying not to stack the tokens. You're right. He would have stepped into the. So he sees three
If
people.
he tries to back away from me, I get an advantage shot on him, right?
No, you're not within 5 feet. So yeah, you wouldn't get. Oh, you mean an advantage shot? No, you would get.
Like he. But if he tries to back, he just attacked me and he tries to back away.
Yeah, but it's only an opportunity if you're
any...
adjacent. Yeah, because you're not adjacent to him, right? It's not an opportunity, and an opportunity attack is only melee.
He has to be like in the square next to yours.
Yeah, and you can't attack with the range.
And he has to leave.
Yeah, and you can't attack with a ranged weapon. It has to be a melee weapon. Right. Yeah, exactly.
I could still stab him with my arrow.
You could.
Okay, Legolas.
On your turn, you
throw
can.
it at him.
So, but here's what I'm going to give you, because I think Cyrus was right. I think I'm looking for the right
concentration.
Yeah, I'm looking for the
Daredevil sense.
He's confused. Like, so he should be confused at this point. Okay, so what's happened is like he sees three people. He's like, holy shit, right? He heard some clanging, and like then he's like nothing comes out.
Silence.
Yeah, he's like completely silent. And, like, it hasn't dawned on him that he could back away from the silence. So he's like screaming at the top of his lungs that they're under attack, and nothing's coming out. So, I think what would that would be not stunned. Frightened.
I think it is confused. Yeah, frightened or confused.
Yeah, so Jimbo is he's now frightened. I knew I'd figure it out eventually. Damn it. Yeah, it was your sloppy circle, Cyrus. Your sloppy circle had me for a second, but you're right. Because I made
pretty good.
Well, I made the deal with myself that like anything that it crossed into, any square that it touched, the entire square was silent. That's how I did sort of the act, like the splitting squares. So you're good to go. All right, so his turn. He's like freaked the hell out. He's now terrified. In his periphery, he's realized that like his colleague is dead. He can't make a sound, right? And you guys are under attack. He's under attack.
So if I see this, which I'm assuming I do, then I'm gonna tell Zippy it's happening, so Zippy can like let Karen know through hand signals that
through the wing signals. No, I think so.
Yeah.
What we learned was
he has hands.
No, Zippy speaks common.
Zippy's silent.
No, he speaks common. Remember, that was one of the Zippy changes.
No,
was like
they're in, but he's in
tone
the
of
tone of silence.
Oh,
he's
Jesus.
in the sound of silence.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was trying to make sure that we played Zippy properly, but you're right. Yeah, so Zippy, you've never heard him speak, and this is not going to be the day you do. All right, so Karen is up.
Zippy's trying to communicate with her that that's also happening.
Yeah, and Ranjak, through all of this, Ranjak is like sound asleep, in the bunk. Like sleeping through this, like, just delightful thing.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Reckless attack. Jesus Christ.
Nice job, Karen.
Yeah, so, there ain't no world.
Holy crap.
Jesus, 29. The shockwaves kill everything in Cragmaw Castle.
It makes no noise whatsoever.
Yeah, like you guys see this goblin, Karen sees and Zippy sees this goblin explode all over this. Like this is just zone of red. It's like a Gallagher concert with a watermelon. And it's just otherworldly because it's completely fucking silent.
Yeah,
it's bananas.
I feel like Zippy would be enjoying this.
Probably. Well, I mean,
he's got
Zippy sees a target, right? So, we'll play the end of this round, you guys. Which once we get through this round, and then we can call it. Oh, so many memories tonight.
He's got a box of cricket corn, and he's just sitting in the window.
All right, Skylar, it is your turn.
So if I kick open the door now,
You can rush the room. I can open the door now. You can actually line of sight see him from where you are.
Yeah.
Right. So you have, and I'm gonna let you roll with advantage because while he's distracted, he's frightened. Right. He's seeing 3 other people. Yeah, he's having a bad day. I mean, not as bad as the ones next to Karen. Right. But
they slept through it, so they don't even really know what happened.
yeah. So you can hit him with a ranged attack, or
Totally peaceful.
I would even let you rush the room and attack with a ranged weapon or with a melee weapon. So whichever damage you want to do.
I'm gonna do my arrow. Wait, is that the right one? Nope, sorry. Sorry, grab the one. Ooh,
Oh, I thought
Nice.
you were
Man.
going to fumble. Oh man, you guys haven't missed tonight.
Oh,
Oh.
Oh my god!
perfect.
Is it bad that we're all laughing at this?
Yeah, I'm befuddled. No,
We haven't taken any damage.
Dave,
Right.
you guys are just all saying bad things.
Knock on
Yeah.
wood.
yeah. So that's not true. Fabia took some damage.
Oh yeah, that's right. She took 3 damage.
All right, so so Skylar, kicks open the door, bow in hand, and just plaster this goblin, and Fabia, you see just this bunch of blood just shoot out of the arrow slit, and sort of splatter your front, and you're good to go. And then Skylar, that ends your turn, unless you want to move. You still have all your movement left.
It's like a
I'm scared.
Tarantino film.
It really is.
All right. Goblin Crink is. I just have to see if he gets a 1 out of 20 and wakes up. He does not. Poor Goblin Crink. Yeah, so Crink's turn is over. Now, Skylar, while this is going on, you hear the sounds just outside the door to your north, or I guess it's to your northeast. You're starting to hear some louder sounds in that area.
Is the room I just stepped into? Is it like there's no other door in there, right? It's just.
Nope. That is a little arrow area. All right.
I'm gonna come just outside the circle of silence, into the hallway
Okay.
right here.
All right. No need to roll stealth. The people are already aware that you guys are there, so you guys aren't in stealth mode anymore. So that was 5 feet.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be
David, you're not.
And I'm gonna be there, and I'm gonna be ready.
Okay.
With a chromatic orb.
All right. So you're standing with your, I'm so glad that we finally have an
Balls in
episode where
hands.
he's got a ball
Balls
in his
in
hand. It's been a long time since Nick had a ball in his hand.
Check it off the bingo card.
Yeah, exactly. Ball in hand. Yeah. Thomas's cliches. All right. Is that going to end your turn?
Yes.
Awesome. Oh, I'll take it to Noodle then. All right, Noodle, you're up.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I want to stay here, but I think I can't see where the doors are yet because it's still dark. So could you kind of move me there and I can kind of check it out if I want to move further?
There you go.
All right, and then I'm going to just ready. Do I hit the loaded or not? Do I hit the load thing to ready myself?
It's on your action tabs. And it's all
Yeah.
at the very, 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 very bottom of your action.
Yeah, it'll just say readied.
You have to double click it.
Oh,
At
you're in
least I
prep.
had to.
Yeah, you're in preparation mode. Let me get you into action mode. There you go.
There I am.
Yeah, so at the very bottom it says readied. Just click that, and then advance your turn.
All right, I'm going to advance.
But you have to tell me what you're ready to do and which direction.
Oh, yeah, let me scooch back in. Sorry. I am facing north now, correct?
Yep.
I'm
I've made
just
you-
readying myself here. Actually, I think more towards where the
Tripwire?
kind of trap. Yeah.
Okay. And so
Right,
you're.
yes.
What is your condition? You're readied for what? You're going to do what if what happens?
I would like to be readied to with my let's see, my crossbow.
Okay. So if anyone comes through the trapped area or comes within in sight, you're going to shoot, right?
That's what I'd like to do. And I'm going to
All right.
click the ready button.
All right. Ready yourself.
Okay. I clicked it, but nothing happened. Double click it.
There you go. I guess it's double click. Good to know. All right. Up next is Little Zippy.
He can move in close to this one now.
He sure can.
Goblin Crank.
Yeah, so he moves in with Crank, or Crank, and just sees this little goblin, like, with a little goblin smile on his face, asleep, dreaming of, goblin goodies, whatever goblins dream of.
Oh,
You're gonna have to re-roll that because you did it with advantage, didn't you? Or no? Did you?
but I didn't. I thought I did too, but that's when I was like, eh. But
Oh.
I didn't. I didn't have advantage. I don't know what.
Oh, I think it's because of this. Oh, yeah, it's fine. Okay, so yeah, so you hit him with poison. Now we all know that Zippy doesn't do much damage, so I'm pretty convinced that Crink will survive this.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
So one goblin withstanding, the Elegant Eight, has massacred arguably a slumber party of goblins.
This is maybe the most efficient slaughter we've pulled off.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
This all started with, can I cast a zone of silence?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I got this. I found this at the bottom of my bag. Can I? Is this gonna? Will this do anything?
Yeah,
Let's try it. Sure.
I'm a little befuddled that you guys haven't pulled this rabbit out of your hat before. So,
Perfect circle
This may
drawing,
be
by
our
the
new
way.
MO.
all right, we got
20 for silence.
we got a couple more moves to make, and then we'll be at the bottom of the stack. And we're done. Is Zippy going to move out, or is he staying where he's at? He has some movement left. He has another 25 feet.
He'll come out of there.
All right, move him where you want him. Oh, hit the wall. Let me move you.
Sorry.
Oh, it's such a stack of goblins death right there. All right, there we go. All right, Fabia is up. You see a bunch of corpses through a window.
And I see a very happy Zippy that everything in that room is dead.
Yeah, and I was going to say you hear some commotion, but you don't hear anything because you're in a zone of silence.
So I think I'm just going to come over here and ready myself
All right.
for whatever may come as
All
well.
right. So you're looking up to the north, right? And you've got your bow drawn. Got it? Cool. Yep. And hold on, before you go, Mr. Bing, one thing has to happen. Oh, there we go. We're good. Roll your initiative, and we'll start from here next time we play. And I think that's everybody, right?
Yep.
What's interesting is I'm not hearing any rolling sounds this time. Maybe because there's a cone of silence. I don't know.
Maybe.
I heard it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I heard it too. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, so, I think we're at round 4. So you have arguably 6 more rounds of silence, Cyrus, just so you know. Just to if you can make a note of that for next game.
Oh yeah.
I think your party will tell you that there's not much happening right now from a silence perspective. Let me give you guys some parting wisdom. So, Karen, off to the east, as you sort of stealth your way into silence, you see what appears to be a banquet hall, right? And it is full of goblins that aren't asleep. They didn't happen to see you or hear you sneak from rubble pile to rubble pile and clobber everyone. So they have not been drawn into the area. But you can sort of see peeking through that room is chock full of goblins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Around 8 goblins, right? Are in that room off to the right. Now they're not aware of you yet, but you are aware of them. So that's a thing, a thing to know. Added them to the combat tracker. They aren't part of this round of initiative because you arguably don't need to engage with them unless you want to. But I just wanted to let you know that from a passive perception perspective, they're there. They just don't know that you're there. All right. There you go. Uh-oh. Error saving.
Oh, no.
Craziness. All sorts of, errors are going through. Are you guys getting all sorts of errors?
No.
Weird.
They started coming through for me.
Did they?
Oh yeah, as soon as I started clicking stuff, it won't allow me to. Oh yeah, it's lagging bad.
I'll figure out what's going on. So this is where we're gonna pick up next time. Is you are surrounded by a bunch of dead goblins. It's the top of the 4th round, and let me drag that up so we know. Up first will be Skylar next time we play. You have something going on in the door to the north of Skylar, and then a room full of goblins just through those piles of rubble, right? Off to the east. And that's where we are. Any questions before we drop?
No, thanks everyone.
Oh, that's
really
it.
Fun. Really
yeah,
fun.
this was awesome.
Yeah, it was nice. Right, I'm gonna
There's
go.
a lot leading up to a lot of setup, but I mean, I think it paid off exponentially.
Yeah,
All right, night, everyone. I'm gonna go hang with my little girl. It's her birthday tomorrow, so I'm gonna go lay with her.
Oh.
So,
Happy
all right,
birthday.
guys, have fun.
Bye.
Bye.
Everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.